Hey, my name is Matt Stohrer and I repair saxophones for a living. And this is an update to the Indiegogo, crowdfunding project that I did. I guess close to a month ago now is when it ended. Yeah, about 20 days ago, 22 days ago. So it was a success. I mean, like, I don't mean to look too surprised, but my threshold for not feeling bad about it was for one person to donate. I thought, if I do this and one person donates, then I'm not alone in the world in thinking that this is a good idea, or something worth contributing to. And I got the first donation within an hour, and it continued to go steadily until the end, until $2,000 was raised, which is astonishing to me. I mean, the goal I picked was almost arbitrary, where I was just like, well, you know, $3,000. Like let's see what happens, because the first goals I thought of was much lower, and I was like, well, what if I get funded? What if that's the goal? What if I could have done more? So I figured I'd put 3,000 up and just kind of see what happened. And you guys donated $2,000, which is awesome. I mean, it's been 3 weeks since it ended, and I still haven't really been able to fully process it. And in addition, I'm actually talking to someone who found out about the project on the last day, and for various logistical reasons, including the fact that they live in South Africa and want to actually come visit to help film, might end up doing the overhaul on camera, which, if that happens, would bring the funding total to a staggering $4,500, which would enable me to do about a full month of full-time plus work on this project, which is crazy. So I was waiting to do this video for two things. One, to see if I could get that finalized with that guy, which has not happened yet. He seems still very interested and is kind of working through logistical and financial concerns on his end. And two, I wanted to find a day when I looked as excited as I felt about this. My youngest daughter is teething, and she does that very, very slow, and she's doing it in her canines, which, if you don't have kids, basically that means they're just unhappy, terrible people that don't sleep, living in your house with you, that make noise all the time. So I haven't slept a whole lot. So I wanted to look more excited, and hopefully I'm doing that without looking too crazy, because I haven't been sleeping much lately. So anyways, I've got $2,000. The Indiegogo gives you the money and they take a cut and PayPal takes a cut, but $2,000 is what was donated. So after those cuts were taken, I donated to myself to bring it back up to $2,000, and I've got a separate bank account where I've got that set. And I think I'm going to do the actual work in November. And that gives me time to, now that I know how much time I've got, and hopefully I'll find out soon whether I have the overhaul on camera included in this. But that gives me enough time to sort of plan and get things ready, because I want to get, I want to be extremely efficient. I want to get an awful lot done during that time. So, if this was a game of Tetris, you guys gave me the line piece, and I need to set up my board so that when that time comes, I can just Tetris through and get a bunch of stuff laid out. So, for instance, in the background, I need to upgrade and change the format of the open source saxophone project.com website, so that I'm not spending time doing back-end stuff like that, and when I'm ready to actually spend a bunch of time on this, I'm actually creating content, because that's what you guys paid for, not for me to do housekeeping. You paid for me to create new content. So that's one of the things I need to do. I need to figure out what projects I'm going to work on, make sure I have horns in various states of repair and disrepair so that I can show this stuff. I don't want to have to spend half a day disassembling and cleaning a saxophone to show you something about post soldering. That should be done beforehand. So I need to get all this stuff ready in the background, and figure out exactly the videos and articles and photos and projects that I want to tackle in the time that I've got. And I also want to see how far I can stretch that time. I'm not above taking a bit of vacation time to add to it if it seems like it would really have a multiplying effect on the amount of stuff I could put out. So that's where I am. I am incredibly thankful. like I said, I'm having a hard time really processing it and getting to work on this stuff. I mean, I love working on saxes, right? You know, I really do love that. But I think my favorite part of this job is teaching other people what I know. So I am super excited to get to do this, and I don't know how to thank you enough. Really, it's you know, it's extremely meaningful to me that there's people in the world that, you know, care about this stuff the way I do, and think that I do a decent enough job explaining it that they're willing to, you know, pay me to take some time off from paying my bills with my knowledge and pass on what I know. So that's thanks. It's really cool. I appreciate it. So yeah. So if you've got any requests for topics, you know, look through the videos I've put up so far. Look at my website. Look at the open source saxophone project, and see what's there. And if you find anything that any gaps, anything you don't understand, any suggestions basically for stuff that you guys would like to see. Some of the suggestions I get are surprisingly complex and, you know, would be really, really in-depth and take a lot of time to put out a small amount of material. So I try to pick my battles, and, you know, do things that are efficient uses of my time. So some things might not get done, but some things might. And some things sound surprisingly complex, but it basically just involves videoing every once in a while during a job I'm doing already, or that might be part of a job I'm doing for another video. So suggestions welcome about topics that I can explain, especially if they're things that don't seem to be tackled elsewhere. But you know, any suggestions you guys have, I mean, basically you're the ones paying my salary during those 2 weeks, so you guys are my bosses. So you know, tell me what you'd like to see, and I'll see what I can do. Yeah, so I'm Matt Stohrer. I pair saxophones for a living, and you guys are paying my salary for a few weeks, and I want to make it worth your while. So let me know what I can do, and sometime in November, I will be actually taking a large chunk of time off, and you'll see, you know, a whole bunch of stuff happen on the opensourcesaxophoneproject.com website, on YouTube. I'll be making new playlists of stuff other people have. I'll be trying to put together links and articles pointing to other good content elsewhere on the web, which can be difficult to find, and obviously creating a lot of new content. So yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for caring. It's really, really awesome. Appreciate it.